Mr. Poku, good morning.
Good morning.
Much on the Ziana pay.
Me pacho Diaboko, son of assistant Jawfre Media.
Mr. Poku, you didn't come on recent power outages we've been experiencing in the country and the assurances that have come from Greco, ECG, and Co. They are telling us a generation problem, but a distribution problem. And you be an explanation about so far, no, as an energy aspect, no, at all soon.
Well, it cannot be a generation problem, and that one no or more have it right. I think for some time now, some of us have been highlighting that the best set of power outage is the macro panel. It will not be as a result of generation, because since 2012 to today, power generation capacity is enough to take us for the next 5 to 10 years. What we have challenges for now, no air distribution and transmission. That's right to the But it doesn't give us comfort, because that is more challenging than the generation problem. And because that is more challenging, what do I mean? To fix the transmission and distribution problem, the amount of investment needed is huge. And it is not something you can do by just a market one. It's systematic. So you have to take your time and change the bulk supply point, change old lines, construct new backbone, so it's a very big project. So if we are having these problems now, because we've neglected those areas, then it's a problem going forward.
Greco the explanation by say a failure be and a buyer. Now they are working around the clock to resolve the problem. As we speak now, as an energy expert, do you have any details as to what that major failure might be?
Oh, sir, in one of their letters, they said there was a problem on the Christia to Obuasi high tension. Sir, Greco, they manage the high tension lines in the country. So that high tension line forms the bone of our electricity. And if you want to move power that is being generated in Tema or Takrade or anywhere in the country, be it Akosombo, BRA, if you want to move it to Saglugu or to Wa or to Borga or to Yendi, you need the backbone, which is the transmission line which transmits the power across the country. So if we start having problems at that level, that is why at times we see almost all the country go off, or at least half the country go off, because we don't have alternative routes. So let's say there is a problem on Akosombo line. It means everybody on that line has to go off. It's not like ECG. When they have a problem, it is a small local area. So maybe Dumsor, and then Dumsor will go off and Sakaman or South Odoko will have light. No, if Greco has a problem, it affected a much wider area because of the distance they cover.
Now, Sir Pristia Obuasi Asemia, grateful for statement on the buyer explaining what the problem was. Is it for us to confess, a lack of maintenance and this problem we say a buyer Nasi BBC? Can we assume that could have been the case?
Oh yes, it's not lack of maintenance. Greco for about 2 years now have been agitating for resources. Last year, 2019, almost for strike. Almost the demands they pay, but there are times when they go into the field, even to pay hotel bills, the problem. So they have been vocal, and nobody seems to mind them. And now, we are now seeing the results of some of these things that we've been talking about. So for me, there is a lot of work. They know. There are reports around that, the ministry, the government, everybody knows the report. The report clearly says what needs to be done. And that is what will resolve the problem. Just that nobody has done it. And as a result, we have the problem we have now. So how to resolve it here? I mean, there are reports around which have been done by the technocrats themselves, telling government what must be money for and how to resolve these problems.
All right. So if you almost statements now, one must say a fault developed on the Prestia and Obuasi lines. But I checked one more Twitter handle and I paid various discussions we say, and I saw that they were advertising for the supply and installation of related services of 16 differential protection relays for 8 short lines of the National Interconnected Transmission System. So yeah, funny say, I mean hypothetically, these differential protection relays, are in any way related to a major problem here yenya ewo Obuasi Prestia line is one now. So differential relay system we say how difficult, how easy is it to get these parts and how comfortably can we fix them if in case this is linked in any way to the Obuasi Prestia problem here, as we don't know much?
Well, exactly. We don't know much, but the question you ask is very loaded. I mean, it will be straying into engineering that or more like an engineer on the field. I would not want to go into the advertising on RICO and whether it is related to the problem that happened, because that would be speculating. I don't know. What I know for a fact is that Gridco has been asking that they need to build a very solid and robust transmission network. And they need to have alternative routes. So let's say this route is redundant, where problem so they can quickly shift power supply to other routes. As it stands now, they only have one route going in certain areas. And when there's a problem, they can shift it any other way. When one line is overloaded, the load cannot be spread through other areas. You remember sometime last year, there was this problem at Tokyo State, where because of the construction, they needed to relocate some high tension poles.
Yeah.
And when they tried to now shift the power through some bulk supply points without doing the load shedding that was needed to that maintenance, because the politicians wanted a situation whereby can you shift the power through other routes? Then it caused a blow in a bulk supply point. So it is a very sensitive way of doing things. So for me, I just think that it's good all the media houses are picking up on it. We should stay on message. It's not that it has come and everybody is talking about it. Most media houses know. I think that my pity is you to Adamuti now the lights up are on, everybody's talking about it. But some of us have been hammering these messages for a long time and nobody picked up the message. And if we don't pick the message and the media don't pick the message, the politicians and the government will go to bed.
Kojo, maybe it's a final question. As an expert in this area, for Gridco to have stated in their statement by, I think a week ago, and Omokase, it was due to a technical fault on the Prestia Obuasi line. Was that enough? Information that you're Ghana for about the problem to have just said it's a technical fault that are developed on that line. Was it enough, or we needed better details of what the problem really was?
Oh, I don't think we needed any better. The average person, what he wants is that, look, he wants his life on. I think then there was an initial statement to say that there was a system failure. And they now came back to say that what caused the system failure is a fault on the Prestia Obuasi line. So I think it's enough for the average Ghanaian. I don't think technicalities and details the Ghanaian care about.
No.
Those technicalities, I don't think anybody listening to you care. What they care is what is being done to solve the problem.
But wouldn't it be more informative, say, for instance, many who are winning a Jumanimu and Semno, and Kamini wouldn't come on Abia and Kame Kobo say Abia, a yet sa Abia differential protection relay, no, not because you know anything, you'll be able to understand whether this can be fixed within a month, 2 or 3, so as to demand, say, okay, you guys give us some schedule as to how you're going to regulate our lighting system.
No, but as I speak to you, we don't have a national shutdown of electricity. There are most parts of the country have light. So that problem is not still there. It's been resolved. If you look, there are various electrical problems in the system. Me, when you told me yesterday, I had only one phase, and that one phase never had low current. I called ECG, and they came around maybe 4 hours later, and they came to resolve it. The on and off is also causing blowout at certain transformers. So most people not having light are mostly localized problems. But the critical problem which caused the nationwide system shutdown, that one has been resolved. But like I said, there are localized electrical problems in so many parts of the country. Okay, and I think there are also some shadow maintenance going on. So there's a mixed bag of things happening in the country that is causing people to have their lights off. But it is not because of that problem that happened on the 7th of March.
All right, Kojo, and if you is what Jimmy and Nadine come on.
All right, thank you very much.
Kojo Poku, energy expectation, thoughts on the power situation and the assurance that from the power distributors would not get back to the situation of Dumsor as we experienced some time back.